Okay, so now let me go ahead and go through those steps. So we go through and this is what we would see if the Google Analytics was associated with this account, and then you get the option to go straight to the property. And just like, well, Google Analytics does get some instant real-time traffic data, but when it comes to like the reports, the Google Search Console is the same, where it does take a couple of days to start populating. Sometimes it's more than 2 days. So it does take some time, but let's just look at one that I have already been using. I tried to add Ventura County since it was originally Maddie's question, but it is still not populating completely. So let's work with, I think this one is probably the one I've had the longest. Okay, so we get an overview. When it comes to tracking your site's most popular content, you'll definitely get a personalized look. Oh, it doesn't give me too much here. Changing your Google to this. Oh, I see. So this is what I was expecting. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. I was expecting the Search Console to ask me to associate my Google Analytics property. And that may be something that you're asked to do. And so although we've verified ownership through our Google Analytics account, it's not yet linking the Google Analytics property with this Search Console property. So you will only need to do this once because you'll only have one MyLO property for your site on Google Analytics and one on Search Console. I, again, as an admin, get asked to associate it to different ones. It's like you only get one association for your Google Analytics property within the Search Console. So I wish I would have gotten it straight in my face, but let's see, it might be in the settings here. There we go. So it is in the settings under associations. Very nice for it to be an obvious one there. And so since we are logged into my Google Analytics or the Google account that's associated with it, it just gives me a button to associate. I have a lot, but you'll probably see yours straight away. The name that we see here is the it's the property name that we gave it when we first created it in Google Analytics. And that's fine. You probably won't get this question of it confirming to associate. It will probably just be here confirming the association. And there's no changes that you need to make unless there is a different view that you want to use. Typically, when you have created, sorry, I didn't complete that there. But if you've created your own property on Google Analytics, the default view will be your fullest view. And we can go ahead and associate. And
So could you clarify what we're associating from our old analytics to this 4 version?
That is not what we're talking about right now. We're actually just talking about the Google Analytics tool, like the complete tool, whether it's the Universal Analytics or the GA4, and then the Google Search Console tool. Those two we're trying to make sure that they associate with each other so that the data can be transferred across.
Okay, so is it like the settings on analytics and this is associating with the settings on 4?
No, and the 4 we're not discussing right now. So we're just merely talking about Google Analytics and the property, which is the website that you have started tracking in Google Analytics. We're trying to make sure that that property and its data is associated with this Google Search Console property.
Okay.
So we have a whole nother, she's showing us a whole new tool we can use to improve our searchability. So this has nothing to do with going to 4. That's a whole nother topic.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, because what we were talking about before was analytics, which would tell you how many people visited and, you know, when was it visited really often. And now we're talking about how to make it easier to search, you know, how it's a totally different piece of managing the website, right? One is activity, and what we're talking about now is becoming more searchable to our users so they can find us.
And Google provides us all these tools for us to do it.
Right.
And that's what we've been trying to set up this whole session.
I'm just trying to follow what's going on.
Well, it's a little confusing.
Definitely.
And I think that Amaris may make a whole nother video of it.
we may need to, because yeah, I know that most of our situations are probably more similar to Lynette's, where you might have 2 different Google accounts associated with these tools. But in many occasions, you're probably using the same. And like I said, I wish I had a fresh Google account that I had complete access to, where we could set those things up. I just don't have it on hand at the moment. It is a pretty straightforward process. I made it way more convoluted because we were trying to make it, you know, a better, more, I guess, familiar experience to what you would be going through if you were setting this up.
So Maddie, you're really good at explaining things. Why don't you, can you mind if she says it one more
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just saying that we're talking about 2 completely different pieces of our usability of our website. You know, the thing that we talked about before was to find out who's using it and how much they're using it. And what we're talking about today is making our website easier for people to find by searching.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
And the analytics has all this data about our site. So
Right.
This new tool just happily can go and look at the analytics data to tell us how we can improve our searchability.
Exactly.
As long as you haven't forgotten that you have a different email on analytics, which you
Yeah,
forgot to
I
change.
have that issue.
Well,
Yeah.
then does this tool have a name that I've somehow missed here?
This
What
is
is it?
the Google Search Console.
So up in the upper left, it says Google Search Console.
Okay.
And Mary, you had your
Amaris,
hand up.
I have a co-web mistress, and she's the one that set up Google Analytics for our website.
Okay.
So I can't do this. I have to have her do it or get all of her.
You can either have her do it as far as her logging into the Google Search Console and associating it, or, you know, herself, Or she can add you as an administrator to the Google Analytics account. And
Okay.
that should then give you the, I guess, quote unquote, ownership to the Google Analytics account as well.
I think that's a really good idea, that you always have somebody as your backup, because you could be hit by a truck and
Yes.
there goes all the work.
Yeah,
Well,
and yeah,
she's
and
been-
we know it makes it harder to try and find those passwords and access.
Well, she's in Hawaii.
I see. Yeah, that definitely makes it harder to track her down for this kind of stuff.
But this
Uh-huh.
also argues for not having it be your personal account, that your
Right.
league would be better off to have a Gmail account that can be used for all of this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have to say, and I'm just a brand new newbie at this because we just switched over, but this Google Workspace where you all kind of work together in the same space and can collaborate. It's really very helpful with this kind of stuff. You know, we can have different calendars, certain people, you can set up certain people to share, you know, like our communications team has their own calendar that they can work in. We have a board calendar where everyone can put in different events. And so it's Workspace is pretty darn helpful instead of all of us. And when we switch roles, you know, our next treasurer, you have all your emails set up as treasurer, administrator, secretary, and those kind of things. Then the next person in that role just steps right into that mailbox and that property.
Lynette, did you have to pay for that?
No, well, if you are a nonprofit, which we just got our nonprofit status last October, if you're a nonprofit, there's no charge.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think we quite are.
Yeah, we're told that we didn't qualify because we're a C4.
We were a C4 and now we're a 501c3.
So
How'd you manage that?
That was done by another one of our members, and I'm very happy to give you her contact information. Well, I'll check with her first, but give you her contact information to see how she did it. It was fairly arduous process and took the better part of a year to do, but she did manage to get it done.
Does National know about this?
I have no idea. And our state league is a nonprofit as well.
Well, we had our state league try to go to 3, and then there's sort of a pullback from the local ones. So I think we're still at a 4.
It's really helpful because once you're a C3, you get Canva for free, you get Workspace for free, and then you get a discount if you're using MailChimp. So a lot of different tools that you're currently using will suddenly become free if you qualify as nonprofit.
Well, that's true. There's a lot of legality involved in this, and I'm really curious because we can be a C3 as an ed fund, but only for ed fund stuff.
Right, and that's what we had before, but now our whole league is a 501c3.
Lynette, what state are you in?
Oregon.
Okay, thank you.
I'll try to find out why we decided we shouldn't do the 3, because it sounds, this is a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
We are both a C3 and a C4.
Yeah, if you're a C3, Workspace and Canva are free, and then you get a discount on
Right,
MailChimp.
and we are both. We have both designations. It takes completing forms at the IRS in order to qualify.
And there's the state and the federal and.
Well, no, I think you just have to go through the federal.
And Jennifer?
Yeah, you just go directly to the IRS.
Yeah, Jennifer, where are you?
Well, I'm in Massachusetts, but I'm associated with Dearborn Heights in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, sure.
Well,
when you find a nice bunch of people and you can still contribute, who cares where you live?
PayPal is also cheaper if you're a C3, which we're not. And you can get free Google business stuff that you can't unless you're a C3.
course, yeah.
Well, in TechSoup, if you have C3 status, you can get a lot of things from TechSoup.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it to go through it. And I think the application was very, very long, and required a lot of detail and a lot of backup documents and stuff, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. Lynette, can I ask another quick question? And Amaris, this is really important. How did you guys learn how to use Workspace? What is the best tutorial? And Amaris may know this too. What?
I didn't find a very good on how to connect everything up. There's some very good tutorials out there. I haven't really found a great tutorial on what to do once you're kind of in there. But it is fairly like these other Google products that we study that Amaris teaches us about. They're fairly intuitive. And so you just kind of, yeah, I haven't found any good tutorials yet.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. I wanted to show you quickly the mobile usability side of the Search Console tool, because we have the Google Analytics data coming in. We are able to see a whole lot more as far as the reports here. I probably will go to another property, but these are kind of the issues that would come up to make a page not as usable on mobile. When the clickable elements are too close together, that's usually if the links are maybe right on top of each other, or just usually right next to each other is a little easier to manage, because we just have to think of people are using their finger. So it's not going to be as precise as a mouse click. And then the content wider than the screen is usually something that has trailed off, typically off to the right. And so it doesn't throw people off too much on desktop. But if we ever see it on mobile, it usually makes the screen like double the size. Let's see if we can find a property that has an example. No, this one is doing great on mobile usability. I could probably
How does this page know that? Are people using our pages reacting to a quiz, or?
No, it is just Google Analytics data, and it is analyzing the clickable elements, and if they are, again, right on top of each other.
It's analyzing our pages and saying, hey, you have pages with elements too close. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so that's where the Search Console tool is, like you said, analyzing the data that's coming from Google Analytics.
Okay.
So let's
And what is the scale at the top? I mean, I see the green, the green and the red, but the first one was like 12. And then usable is 33.7K.
So those are the pages that do have mobile usability, a good score of mobile usability, 3.7 thousand pages. Not usable, 65 pages have been tracked. And so this also may not be a complete picture of your site, because obviously we know that we have more than 3,000 to 4,000 pages on MyLO. I'm imagining. But this is going to give you the best idea, and will definitely give you the tips on which ones are not usable. And those are the ones you want to focus on. And this graph here is just going by date and showing which pages were not usable on which date, and vice versa, which ones were deemed usable.
Yeah, I think most of us tend not to think about what it looks like on somebody's phone. At least, for me, that's not the first thing that comes to mind. Again, my son is a usability analyst. You know, he's a customer experience expert.
The user UX.
Yeah. And so he's always, you know, calling me out when things are not not looking good on a different kind of a screen, because that's a big part of what he does.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Lucky. Do you
Exactly.
You made me think to look on my phone because I initially had a little trouble with the Google Calendars embedding, and it was working, but now it isn't. I'm getting that stupid I am not a robot instead of the calendar.
Is it on Safari?
Yes, but it's on my phone. It works fine on a computer. It's on my phone. And it worked before, but now it's failing again.
It may have like something to do with like privacy settings. If you visit it in an incognito window in Safari, I think it does come up without issue. So it has something.
I've never done, I don't even know about incognito windows. So it's just the way I always do it.
But if you can check your browser's privacy settings, you may be able to get around it there. But let me go ahead and show you guys some examples here. Content wider than the screen. Let's go over that.
Does it actually tell us which pages are flawed?
Yes.
So we can find them.
Yes, that's what we're looking at. So
there's one from Dearborn Heights.
Let's do that one. There we go.
Yes, let's do that one.
Let's see what they're referring to. So these little icons, and let me zoom in a little more. Let me close this. We hover over the option there. We can copy the URL to our clipboard. We can open it in a new tab immediately, or we can inspect the URL. Inspecting the URL is essentially telling, let's see, let's try it, because I do believe it means that you're telling Google to check if it has been fixed. And so it's telling us that it is not usable and telling us the reasons why. So let's take a look. Typically, when content is wider than the screen, that is going to affect the text size. So let's see. At first glance, I don't notice anything because we're looking at a desktop. Let's use the tool that's built into the browser. We all know that we could just pick up our phone or our tablet or iPad and look at it there. But if you are on your desktop and you want to, or your laptop, and you want to check out what the mobile user would see, you right click anywhere on your screen, even on a picture anywhere. The inspect option is down at the bottom. And at first, we're just seeing the entire page in HTML, but we don't even need to worry about that portion. We are actually just worried about these two little things here. So this is specific to Google Chrome, because with different browsers, the inspect tool may be laid out differently. But this is toggle device toolbar. It may have a similar name in other browsers, but we want to toggle that on. And what this does is gives us options to choose between different mobile devices. And then we get to see the screen rendered that way. So we see now the screen is much smaller, and it is the video that seems to be keeping a static size. So let's see if we can fix that by maybe giving the width a percentage. Jennifer, is it okay if I go in and make some changes there?
I think that's wonderful.
Okay, let's hope that this will work. I'm going to just go in there without masquerading. So I apologize in advance for the way it's going to look, because it won't look similar to how it looks for you. Okay, so it looks like the video is down at the bottom. Once this loads. Okay. Here we go. So the width is set to 962 pixels. So it makes sense why it was making a screen the size that it was. So like I said, let's try, instead of pixels, let's try a percentage, and we'll do 100%. This should keep us from specifying a specific.
Do you want to change the height too?
I'm going to try it like that first.
Okay.
Only because I was having some issues and with another video where I tried that, and for some reason it was cutting it down much smaller. But that's what testing is for, because we may go back in and,
Right.
and change our minds. Okay, so again, when we look at desktop, we don't see a difference. But if I inspect, and I'm still set to the iPhone X, look at that. We already see an instant difference. I can see the text right in my face. The video is a little
nice.
cut off, but in terms of the controls, they're not cut off. So that's the good thing. The good thing is they still get the option to do full screen or watch on YouTube. Let me pause that. Whoops. But yeah, it still looks pretty good, even squashed down like that. And then they could turn their phone sideways and it's even better. But let's go ahead and go back to the Search Console. And now again, I can click test live URL from here, or I can go back to the URL inspection list. Wait, no, where were we? We were in mobile usability. So if I find that link again, the Dearborn Heights link, that was this one here. I can inspect URL from here as well. So either way, inspect URL and test live URL are the same. Oh, let's try it again.
You know, sometimes when I publish things, they don't show up for other people for a few hours. So wondering if Google can't see the fixed version.
We'll test that. It does take it a minute or two. Okay, so I'm here logged out. Let's try inspecting again. Try it this way. Okay, definitely could be the case. Okay, so that is okay. We can, I can try it later. I think Liz, you predicted the future. I am going to have another video. I think I'm going to at least try and record how to set up a Google Search Console in the way that all of you would probably have your account set up. But then I also will let y'all know about if it's the caching that has this issue. Because if that's the case, then what I would do is, you know, if I had a list of pages here that I needed to work on, I would just maybe work through a batch and then wait it out. And then you can see after the caching, you can come back and let's see, open that. You could just come back and click on validate fix. So if I worked on all 64 of these to make sure that the content was not wider than the screen, then I could click validate fix and it should go through the entire list and pretty much weed out the ones that are now, you know, mobile friendly.
What do you say about, you were right, there was a setting for cross-site tracking that I must have, when I got a new version, maybe it reset or something. But a calendar on a phone, the Google calendars, if you made it so it fit into the phone width, it would be unreadable, right? So maybe it isn't so bad to have them having to scroll a little bit around to find the right date.
It depends.
I'm talking about embedded.
Right. Yeah, I think that one does depend. So you may see it pop up in this list of content wider than the screen, but like you said, it may be more helpful to actually see the full date window. But then also the other, or not but another option could be that the default view, rather than a monthly view, maybe you choose an agenda view, and that's a little bit easier to see on a skinnier screen.
Well, yeah, but MyLO already sort of has that,
I see.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but you
we
still have the
have this.
option to swap between monthly, agenda, and weekly. Or well,
Right,
weekly,
but
I
I
don't know
mean,
if that
why-
would be too helpful.
Why wouldn't you just look at the MyLO part with the events?
Because those are huge, and the Google Calendar is just a very brief entry for each
Mhm.
date.
It's just something to consider. It's definitely not something that you need to do. But if you were trying to have a perfect score on Google Search Console and that page was the one, that was still sticking there, that could be an option.
Maybe we need to hire Maddie's son.
Yeah, does he
That
want
would
to
probably
take
make him
on
happy.
several different leagues at once?
He even knows how to do Drupal.
Oh, then he definitely needs to come on the team.
Yeah, one problem that I have with the events on MyLO is you can't make them recurring. And that's one of the main reasons I have the Google Calendar, is because every month I would have to edit
Remake.
like 20 different events that are happening on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So I have 2 that are interesting to the public that I do in fact do that with, but with the committees and all of that, I just keep them on the Google Calendar because I can have them recurring there.
Right. I will say a little secret that's in the works. And so
Okay, little good news.
yeah, I'm not sure of any confirming details, but it is definitely in the works.
That's good news. I
Yeah.
think a lot of us would be happy about that.
Yeah, I feel that you won't be the sole user of that setting if we can get that going.
Oh, so that would be a Google Calendar automatically available in our website?
No, it's the recommendation or the feature request was to have recurring events on MyLO. And so that's
Okay,
what we're
okay.
looking into right now.
Like your board meeting or something.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
In your committee meetings and your, get-togethers. We
And
have
the
a few.
public-
We're-
The
yeah, we're
public
trying to
doesn't
figure
have
it
to
out.
see those anyway. I mean, most of those are business meetings more. One thing you might, Amaris, I noticed some people came off that were on before.
Excuse me?
You might send an email to the people and say, sorry, you got disconnected. We followed, and you'll get an email with a summary of the meeting.
I will definitely include that in my message to the Google group. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who we lost. I was going to send out a.
Eileen Conroy was one of them. She might have opted out anyway, but this one it
But
took
I'll
a
make
little
sure.
brain power.
Yeah, maybe we're not done with this one completely. Like I said, I want to record a video on my own, but maybe we come back to this in the next session. Because
That
there's
would be great.
There's
Yeah, there's a
here.
lot here.
For sure.
Yeah, and so, okay, yeah, we'll definitely just save the rest of this for next time.
Oh, also, if we could get it set up on our own and have a little bit of
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
for it in the meantime, in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Which is election season. We're all busy with that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I'll make sure to get that video out to you soon, so that you'll have the instructions on how to set it up at least. Because yeah, it takes, like we said, it takes a couple of days to even collect the data. So we want to make sure that you have it in place well before next session. Jan.
So I'm just wondering, when we move to Analytics 4, are we going to have to do this again?
Hmm.
Well, that's not encouraging.
Yes, because it's going to be a different property.
So maybe better to wait.
It is up to you.
Okay.
At this point, this is, it's definitely not necessary to have the Google Search Console. If you feel that you have some issues not seeing your league on search, that's really when you want to start looking into this tool. If there are no issues and folks are finding you just fine, you probably don't need to worry about this tool. But since it's connected to the UA property in Google Analytics, we would have to set it up to then be connected to the, to the GA4. That would be new. So that would actually just be going to your settings and going to the associations again. Since we would have the GA4 property created, we could then go to associate. First, we have to click the, let's see. Yes, this is the property name. Oh, okay. I don't have any GA4 properties set up, it looks like, but you'll be able to tell which one is the correct one, even if you have them titled the same, because it will start with UA and then GA4 properties will start with GA4.
But the things that we do to our website to make it easier to find, those basically are used by the Google crawler, right? So
Mhm.
that won't make any difference, I wouldn't think, as to which version of the analytics that we were associated with. Is that
Right.
true?
Yes.
So if you want your website to be easier to find, nothing about that will, or I don't know, very little about that would be different if the analytics changes.
Right. Like if you verified ownership of your knowledge panel on Google search results pages, that is not associated with the Google Analytics. Other options were adding alt text to images. That's solely through MyLO. And so that just remains. And then another option that we kind of talked about a little last session, but we didn't get to this time, are the meta tags.
Yeah.
Those are another powerful tool that are in MyLO. And sorry, I'm just going to go in with my admin, but it's in the same location. So we have the meta tags here. We have the page title and the description that gets pulled from what you've already provided up here. So this is the, what do we call it? The node title. And then the site name here is just MyLO. It's being pulled from our site name. And then the node summary for the description gets pulled from the first few characters here. The first, I think it's typically 200 to 300. Yeah, about 300 characters. And so it is also counting the HTML tags. So I would recommend using the summary section. Sorry, hold on 1 second, folks.
Maybe your partner came in.
Okay. So yeah, with this example here, if you just wanted the text to be showing or showcased only, because again, the characters that are taken are not just the words, they are also the HTML characters that are included there. So Let's see,
Yeah.
there might be a,
So that means we can have more in our summary if we don't have to count the HTML characters, right?
exactly. Yeah, that is the complete upside there. And
I'll just follow it.
this is, whoops, this description is what we see on Google search result pages that describes the result. And then the page title is what we see as, the top clickable item. So I'm just adding the text there. It definitely got rid of some characters. And so, as Maddie said, it helps to guarantee which are going to be showing up. And I'm just going to
But
leave.
that summary shows when somebody looks at the page, right?
It does not.
Oh, this is just what gets searched then. It does not show up to the viewer, the reader.
Right. It does not show up to the viewer. This is specifically for the homepage summary. It won't show up anywhere else but in search results. When it comes to, let's say, a different kind of page like the about page, any other type of page, the summary does show up for the viewer if you, let's say, promote the page to your front.
Right.
Or if you have the event in a list. But yeah, this one will be invisible to folks. So I'm going to go ahead and publish that since we edited the summary. Okay. And I probably should have said, but those meta tags, the page title meta tag and the description, although those tokens are there as placeholders, you can take those out and put whatever you want. You could put your entire full name, League of Women Voters of such and such, official website. You can put whatever you want there. The page title shows up also at the top of your tab. So Dearborn Heights, vertical bar, MyLO. That is exactly what we would see on Google as well. Let's see if I can.
For that summary, could we just have a list of words that we consider significant words? We want them to.
Well,
search?
if you did that, that would show up here. And I don't know if that gives too much context. I would recommend putting a sentence.
Okay.
If you did want to add keywords, it supposedly is outdated. I did read an article that said, do everything, even if it's an outdated thing, because Google is always updating stuff. But in the meta tags, there's another section, keywords. Because like I said, it says this meta tag is not supported by most search engines anymore, but it doesn't hurt to do it. It's not going to impede your site. It's not going to break anything. This is probably more of what you're looking for, Susan, because then you can just add all the buzzwords that you're hoping folks are searching for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the quick the quick version, but we'll definitely be diving in more and hopefully a smoother experience for next time too. But does anybody have any questions? Because we didn't even get to questions at all. I mean, other than what we were talking about.
When we add a user to a Google Analytics account, it asks for both the email and the username, or is that it's the same thing?
It just asks for the email, and I think what Google does is if there is a name associated, because it can pull it from that Google or Gmail account, it will. But if it can't, because there were some, let me see if I can pull it up again. I did have some users listed where their email address was also their name, but you might be able to edit users if that is necessary.
I think maybe what I was seeing was meant if you had more to add. Maybe.
Let me go back to it. Was it when we were editing the person?
We were adding one.
Let's see. Here, when I added an
Yeah.
email address.
No, I think what happened is I thought it was expecting. Yeah, so enter, see, it says enter email addresses. I was thinking that
I
was
see.
supposed to be corresponding to what you just added, but it's another person.
Yeah. Mhm.
Sorry. Okay.
No worries. Lynette, did I see that you might add a question?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, folks, unless there was any last minute question. Wait, I saw there was a chat. Okay, yeah. That was a nice way to transition. Thank you, Deborah, for that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Like I said, we'll be talking about this again in 2 weeks. That will be the 10th. So look out soon for the, I guess, post office hours update so that we can prepare for the next one.
Thank you, Amaris.
Thank you again. It's always,
Everybody.
always a pleasure. I always
Thank
learn
you.
a lot.
Always a pleasure.
All
It
right.
always is. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.